Welcome to the Conservative Cat Show, where truth still matters and common sense breathes, and Illinois is still worth fighting for. Today, we are going to be talking about a battle that is happening right in our backyard, Illinois State University, in the so-called town of Normal. Everything but normal happens in Normal, folks. The ISU College Republicans president is joining me today, and he's actually going to be hosting with the ISU College Republicans a young woman who has completely shaken the foundations of the transgender movement. That's Chloe Colin. She's coming to ISU's campus on October 14th, but I wanted to have Ross on to chat a little bit about that. Good morning, Ross. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me on here today. I'm doing quite well today.
Good. First, before we get into Chloe Cole and, the transgender movement and who Chloe Cole is, I want to know who you are. So tell me a little bit about your role at ISU as the College Republicans president and why you stepped into that role and what you're studying at Illinois State.
Thank you. I am a senior at Illinois State University. I'm double majoring in political science and legal studies. I'm originally from 2 hours west of Bloomington Normal in Henderson County, a very rural area right along the Mississippi River. This is my second year being the ISU College Republicans president. I stepped into this role just because I saw a need in our club, and I thought that I could be the person that could help us form and grow as a conservative movement on campus. This is my fourth year here, obviously, and this is the first time College Republicans has ever had a speaker. And so we're trying to have a speaker, bring momentum, bring the truth to campus, and then also continue to build our club for future years, even after I'm gone.
Yeah, well, and I'm telling you right now, it sounds like it's not just going to be a speaking event. That's going to be held on October 14th, correct?
Yes, it is on Tuesday, October 14th. So just a week from tomorrow, Chloe will be here on campus.
Yes. And it's going to be a moral earthquake, I think, on liberal campus, which kind of brings me to this question. Have you faced any kind of backlash, or the college Republicans, or are you guys pretty well respected on campus? What are your thoughts there?
We have already seen backlash from some liberal groups. The Young Democratic Socialist on campus and the Democrats are already planning a protest for our event. They have the whole poster out inviting all of their liberal friends to come outside of the event, protest the event. I don't know what they're going to do. But also last week we tabled 3 days. We tabled Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on the quad. And every day we had people come up to us. The first day we had someone come up to us, say that we're bad people. I think we were compared to Hitler. One person threw some of our stuff off of our table. And then the second and third days, we had a group of probably 6 to 8 liberals around our table watching us, taking pictures and videos, and just overall kind of just trying to disturb what we were doing or scare us off. I'm not sure which. But
wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you have to deal with that. It's kind of interesting. It feels like free speech only seems to apply to the drag queens, the gender theorists, and the communist poets, right? I'm sure if they had like a Karl Marx, if the Democrat Party held a Karl Marx poet slam or whatever they do, I don't know. Do you think that the ISU College Republicans would react in similar ways, or no? Is that not the climate there?
No, I mean, our group has never protested any event like this. I mean, first, because they have a right to talk about and have events that they're having. I mean, they have their free speech to talk about this. And if they want to do it, good for them. It doesn't seem to be reciprocated to us. We have seen also that they're sending emails to the dean to try to say this is a hateful, transphobic event. They're trying to already somehow get this event canceled. We have not had any issues with any of the administration, though. They have worked with us. We're working on all of our plans, and we haven't faced anything from them. So it's just these liberal students on campus that have tried to create an issue.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating saying that, she's transphobic, which is are so bizarre. It's almost like an oxymoron. She was a transgender individual. Well, she is a transgender individual, and she's detransitioning. Can you tell me a little bit about Chloe Cole and why her? Why'd you pick her?
So we started looking for speakers last fall or last spring, sorry. And we were looking through them, and really what appealed to us was Chloe's story. She is the same age. She's the same age as me. I'm 21. She's also 21. She has gone through these life-changing events that should never have happened in the first place and that are dangerous. And now she has the courage to come out here and speak on her experiences, even though every time she speaks, she knows she's going to attract this angry mob that doesn't like her, doesn't like any of her friends, doesn't like the people she's around, but she does it anyways. And so I think it's her story specifically that encouraged us to choose her and brought us to her. And now, we're just really excited to hear her story and also try to help shift the culture on campus a little bit, maybe.
Okay, so Chloe Cole, one thing that I really like about her is that her testimony sort of like shatters the narrative here. The media wants you to pretend that you transition and everything is hunky-dory. Now, I don't know now at my time, you guys, or that I'm an Illinois State University alum. So I went there, and during my time, I actually had not a roommate, but was over very often somebody who had transitioned fully. Very nice person. Nothing against them personally. It's just that, I just don't think that transitioning makes you happy or that this is something that leads to a happily ever after. What is it like on ISU's campus with the transgender community? Are there a lot of transgender people that you encounter? That's one thing that I'm kind of fascinated about. You got all these people emailing ISU, college dean, and the administrator saying that this is transphobic. I wonder if there's actual transgender people who have, said that about Chloe Cole, or if there's even a huge transgender population that this would so-called be transphobic towards on ISU's campus. What is like the transgender population on ISU's campus? What is that like?
So I can't give a full picture because, to be honest, we don't run in the same circles. But I have seen some transgender individuals on our campus, so there is at least some. I can't say how many or exactly much about them. I don't know them personally, but I know there are some at least on campus.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of fascinating because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that, you've got a lot of social justice warriors that fight on behalf of these transgender individuals, but the transgender individuals themselves, a lot of the time they just want to be left alone. There's only this small faction, I think, within, Democrat circles, leftist circles that want to push this ideology on children, which is where Chloe Cole comes in. She was so young when she started to transition, and it was forced on her. Most, I would say, transgender individuals, they don't need their social justice warriors to go fight their battles for them. Most, I would say, are like adults who are, transitioning or have decided to transition. But we've reached a point here in, I think, America where you're transitioning earlier and earlier and earlier. So Chloe's story, she transitioned really young. Is that correct?
She started at age 12. Yes. Age 12, she started going to a therapist, going to the doctor, and they convinced her and her parents that the best option forward was to start hormone treatment, to start puberty blockers. And then those continued. And then at age 15, she had a double mastectomy. And then at age 16 and after, she realized that this was incorrect and that her body is now forever changed and will never be the same as a regular, a normal woman anymore. And so that's when she realized that this was wrong and that she made a mistake. She said it's the biggest mistake that she ever made, which is understandable. And so after that point, she started speaking up about it. And from an interview that I heard, she was met with a lot of backlash from people in the trans community and more liberals, that this was dangerous to the community, that she was having these second thoughts, that this was dangerous, that she was telling her story. It's dangerous that she was telling her story. And that's kind of what we're hearing on campus now. The liberals are saying it's dangerous that she's coming here because you have to think about what kind of message she is pushing. And it's so confusing to me because this is her story. She went through it. It's her experiences. And so why do you not want her to talk about this? So maybe another 12, 13, 14-year-old doesn't have to go through this life-altering changes, and they can figure it out from Chloe, who's already gone through it. And so it's just kind of wild to me that these people are so against bringing a speaker to campus.
Yeah, well, she might actually help some of these people in the transgender community who might be on campus. Yeah. And, it feels like they've got these advocates, advocating against something that might potentially help them. These social justice warriors who have no idea what it's like to be transgender. And I feel like Chloe Cole gets it, obviously. And maybe that's what they're afraid of, that some of these people in the transgender community, specifically on ISU's campus, will wake up and find some help from Chloe Cole, what she has to say. I did want to ask you, I think it's funny that you've got a university there that says diversity, inclusion, and equity, and but when it comes to Chloe Cole and her detransitioning viewpoint, it's not really diverse. Well, how do you feel about the hypocrisy there coming from, either ISU, or I know that you haven't run into any huge bureaucratic hurdles with the administration quite yet, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that surprising to me. It's diversity as long as it's our side kind of thing. So as long as we agree with it, those diverse opinions. And so it doesn't surprise me that they're doing this, but honestly, me and my vice president, Braden, were speaking, and we always see on Instagram these people that come and protest these conservative events. And we were like, oh, that won't happen to us on our campus. And it did. We were a little surprised it happens, but also unsurprised that they're doing this. It fits the narrative of what they do everywhere else, but we were still a little surprised, like on our campus even. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and well, you guys are hosting yet another major speaker. I know you hosted the late TPUSA founder, Charlie Kirk, back in April.
Yes.
It was a pretty packed, huge event, and it wasn't really well attended by, I would say, radicals. There was a little group in the back, and they were shouting like complete nonsensical crap. Yeah. And for the most part, everybody really wanted to hear what Charlie had to say. Now, I don't know if you can attest to any kind of information surrounding this. Did the administration deny? I don't know if you are a part of TPUSA. Are you part of TPUSA or no?
I'm a member, but I'm not in leadership on TPUSA.
Yeah. So I was shocked when I went to the event that there were not more amplification devices. And when I talked to some of Charlie Kirk's team at the front there by the press room, usually you interview, or you can interview some of the press, or some of the press can go and interview Charlie Kirk's team while he's on campus at these things. I've attended a couple of his prove me wrongs. And I thought it was odd. I was like, there's thousands of people here and no amplification devices. Like, there were two little tiny speakers up front. And one of them had told me, they were like, yeah, he's not taking any kind of press interviews, the team, because we don't have a ton of amplification here, and everybody's kind of crowded up here anyway. And usually, there's a little press pool, but they backed up the press pool by a whole lot because of how crowded it was there at the tent. So security for Chloe Cole. Are you working with ISU for security and her team? How does that kind of look, without going into insane details, so that way we don't have deranged leftists trying to skirt the security. But are those conversations happening? Is that a concern that you have, considering the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Are you worried for Chloe Cole and possibly members of the college Republicans for hosting this event amidst the Charlie Kirk assassination?
So we definitely have taken that into consideration, and so has the school. We have met with the school to get security. We're going to have some police officers, EMTs. Chloe Cole is bringing some of her own security through Young Americans Foundation, who we're working with as well. And we're also going to have the ISU has a demonstrative safety team who's also at the Chloe Cole event. They're volunteers that come to try to help keep the peace. They'll be there as well. And then we also have student volunteers from our team, from our club, that will be there as well. So those conversations have definitely been happening. We are trying to make sure this is a completely safe event, that Chloe is safe at, and that all of our students and members are as well. So we're continuing to finish that security plan, meeting with the security later this week to finish up some of those plans. And I am pretty confident that we have a good plan. The event is inside of Schrader Hall, which is one of our academic buildings. And so it's in a pretty secure place.
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller and probably easier to facilitate a security team. And I know out where Charlie Kirk was, I mean, I saw people up in the windows. They had swastikas up in the windows, and like they were like flipping Charlie off from the windows. And I was like, this is not. I thought that the ISU police and security could have done so much better. I think I saw one woman with a security vest on, and then the rest of it was Charlie Kirk's team. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I knew I wasn't feeling safe at that event, but this sounds like you guys are taking the proper precautions given the political violence that we're seeing. Isn't it crazy out there, Ross? Yeah. I did want to ask you about the philosophical debate here with the puberty blockers and the sterilization and the surgically altering your body before you can really even drive a car. In Chloe Cole's case, before she even really hit puberty, she was transitioning and having surgeries. So do you come into contact, with people who are opposed to, saying, hey, transgender transitioning should happen at the age of 18? Do you think that's a pretty moderate stance, not to have young children surgically altering their bodies or on puberty blockers?
I mean, I think it's a very common sense thing to, it's a very moderate take that children shouldn't be doing this. And I think anybody that we run across, if they have common sense, they're like, of course children shouldn't be able to do that. Like, what kind of question is that? But the people on the liberals that have come up to our table are saying, well, it's more effective when they're children, and it's scientifically proven that they're much happier. It reduces their chance of suicide. It helps them a lot, and they're really happy. There's like a 1% or less chance of them being unhappy with it. And so those are the kind of people that are saying like, oh, this is awful that you're talking against child transgenderism. Of course, they should be able to do it with the help of a doctor. But we know that the doctors, they pick what doctors they go to, and they just affirm them and what they want to do. And so it's kind of confusing to me to run into those people that, in my opinion, don't have the common sense.
Well, and that's fascinating because it was like not even that long ago. Oh, they can do it as long as they get their parents' consent. But now I think that you're seeing a movement that thrives on this secrecy, and schools are transitioning children, counselors, guidance counselors, they're telling them, teachers not to out the children to their parents, to mom and dad. And they're transitioning them socially in the schools and then referring them to doctors. And it's all kind of this secrecy. And as a young adult yourself, do you think that's something your generation is okay with? Our generation?
I would think generally no, that they're not okay with it. but I also haven't been in those education classes of what the teachers are learning. I don't know what they're learning exactly. I'm kind of I'm in like political science and my legal stuff, which isn't as focused on that. And so that's one of our goals as well of having this event is hopefully we can get the teachers and of course our future parents that come to this event that see that this is wrong. And so if it happens to them, if their child comes up to them and says, oh, I think I'm a boy and I'm a girl or whatever, that they can find proper help that will really help them and not just affirm these thoughts of a child.
Yeah. These I'll go as far as say delusions. And it's like it's hard because when I went to college, you have a whole student body, educators, and that's actually what ISU is really known for is their education. So, or like their education, like teachers. And producing teachers, and you've got all of these teachers who are being produced en masse, where they are honestly convinced that biological reality is some sort of form of oppression. And I just don't know how we're going to be able to reach those ISU students. And I'm hoping Chloe Cole can do it. If anybody can, Chloe Cole could do it, to dispel that biological reality is a form of oppression. When I was in all my classes, I went for journalism. And it was just shoved down our throats that living in a binary is oppressive. So going as far as to say, like, our naming, so how stoplights are green and red, that in and of itself is oppressive, and that the binary that we live in is oppressive. I'm telling you, this is the type of stuff that you hear on ISU's campus in college classes. Now, I wasn't an educator; I was in journalism. I, took a few odd electives, and I was like, wait a second, are you actually telling me that green and red, that the naming of those lights are some sort of oppressive binary that we live in? And I don't know. I think that college students are being indoctrinated to believe that biology is oppressive. And not only that, but children are being led to believe that. And obviously, Chloe Cole thought she could, transition herself out of that oppression, but it didn't work because biological reality is something that you can't escape. I mean, I guess it's sort of oppressive, but it's a reality. I don't think it's really oppressive. It's just something that you have to live with, sort of like breathing. So your thoughts there. Is there a way we can reach students who've been so indoctrinated on campus? Maybe some of these people show up to your table. Is there a way that you can convince them? And do you think Chloe Cole is going to be able to do it on October 14th?
That's kind of the hard part. Some people, maybe their minds can be changed, but some people are so far gone away from having any kind of open mind about this issue that I don't think we're going to convince them. There's some people that they're set in their ways. We've had people that come by that are just so angry at us that, call us names, curse at us, compare us to Hitler or fascism or something. And I think those people probably won't be affected by Chloe Cole. Our goal is to get the people who are on the line, a little closer to conservatism, maybe a little bit on the left, that have an open mind, want to hear what Chloe has to say, and hopefully they take away something that then will help shift us at least a little bit. I mean, it'll have to start gradual, shift us into this more common sense approach to issues like this. This is one of the most common sense approaches that I can think of. And so I'm hoping that this will shift the narrative a little bit on our campus. But it won't completely fix it. But we're hoping to shift it so we can continue to grow year after year, get more members, get more people that are interested. And so I think it's a gradual thing. We're not going to get everybody, but if we can get a handful, I think that'll be really good.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know why this is going on here, but my cameras, we're getting close to the end of the time anyway. So I wanted to ask, where can we find out more about the event? And then what else should we know when going to the event? How do we, sign up? Or can you tell our listeners how to do all of that?
Okay. So the main way that we're communicating with our audience is we have an Instagram page, which is ISU College Republicans, and a Facebook page where we have put out our poster. We have an RSVP link that you can sign up, just so we have a general list of who is coming to the event. Although if you want to come to the event of day of, you can still come to the event. You don't have to be RSVP'd. And we're also collecting, if anyone would like to donate, we are collecting donations to pay for Chloe to come here and for security. And also, if you want more information, you can reach out to our Instagram page at ISU College Republicans and ask us any other questions you have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ross, for joining us today. And I'm telling you, scripture talks about how, be strong, be courageous, don't be afraid. And you're living in that out in a place where, fear and conformity are the norm. So more power to you. You're awesome. Ross Vancil, ISU College Republicans, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, folks. You're listening to Conservative Cats. You're listening to Conservative Cat. We will be back. Be sure to subscribe to the channel right now. Hit the subscribe button. And always check out ISU College Republicans. I follow their social media on Instagram. They're very active. And I'm looking forward to Chloe Cole being on ISU's campus on October 14th. I'll see you guys later.